We be live.
Hello! Happy Pride
Hey.
weekend, everyone.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. Happy Pride weekend.
Yes.
How much longer do we have till the whole Pride thing?
Is over? Well, until the end of the
Yes.
month.
Yes.
In America, in
What?
most cities, Pride is celebrated the last weekend of June because the Stonewall riots, which is basically the beginning of Pride, happened at the very end of June. And in
Cool.
honor, I have my goddess Kali and Sita making out shirt to commemorate Pride weekend. And also, we're going to be talking a lot about blasphemy today, in India in particular. So I figured this was a good moment. And Sita has a little rainbow armband in support of marriage equality in India.
That's right. Where do we have that shirt? Do we have that in the description?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
guys,
you can buy this shirt, or you can buy it on cups, like posters, backpacks, whatever. You can get this design in our store. Link in the description below.
You scared PK the way you said it.
This is how I say it every week.
It's like Casey is here. Music guy is saying idea is good. Okay. Okay, yeah. PK. Okay, never mind. All right, so guys, we're gonna be covering the news. We have 10 news items that Susanna had picked for us, and she has been researching and covering this news, and we have our writers do a write-up on it for our website. So Susanna, today's news, the 10 news items, are they mostly funny, tragic, ridiculous?
We've got a pretty even mix. We've got some stuff that's frustrating, some stuff that is sad, very sad, and some stuff that is just Islamic nonsense and drama. I always like those news stories, even though technically it's bad, but like it's Islamic nonsense, so like it's enjoyable to talk about and like dunk on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So sounds good. All right. Hold on. Let me share the screen. All right. So for the first news, can we clap for the first news?
I'm going to clap for the person who's at the center of this story because I stand behind this dude. What happened to him was a sad and unfortunate, but like let's give a clap for him.
All right. First news.
First news. Indian ex-Muslim attacked by a mob and arrested for criticizing Islam. On June 12th, 2022, a youth belonging to a Muslim family in Maharashtra, India, was assaulted and arrested for making posts on social media where he criticized the Prophet Muhammad and called upon citizens of India to reject all religions. Last month, Nupur Sharma, a spokesperson for the ruling BJP party, talked about the quote-unquote obscene relationship between the Prophet Muhammad that the Prophet Muhammad had with his wife Aisha. Saad Ashraf Ansari, in his Instagram post, praised the remarks made by Nupur Sharma, calling her a quote-unquote brave lady for stating facts. In a series of posts on his Instagram profile, Saad Ashfaq Ansari criticized the Prophet Muhammad in response to the ongoing controversy. He wrote, quote, a 50-year-old marrying a 6 to 9-year-old kid is a clear child abuse. And I don't know how you people support this. Who will you give your 6-year-old daughter to a 50-year-old man? Think about it. He further stated, I'm not in support of any religion. I effing hate them all. I'm just scared to live in a world where you and your family can be killed just because you spoke about something a man who died many years spoke about something about a man who died many years ago. Grow up, guys. Ditch the religions which spreads terrorism in the world and be a human being. It's just that simple. Parentheses. I already know how much hate I'll get for posting this and prepared to be misunderstood because you people are still kids. End quote. In response to his posts, a radical Muslim mob gathered at Ansari's home. His house was raided and he was assaulted and forced to recite Islamic phrases. The police arrived due to the commotion and arrested Ansari instead of the mob. After pressure from the media, the police eventually booked over 100 people for the mob violence.
What's wrong with the police? Why would he get arrested?
Because some of the people in this mob, um, they filed an FIR against him under the blasphemy law in India.
But do you police? Okay, do you need an FIR to see that the man's house has been raided? Like, do they show up there like, oh my God, strangers are at this man's house and they're forcing him to recite Quranic verses? But hey, we don't have an FIR. like, what is this? Like, does the like if there's a murder in India and the police is witnessing the murder, are they not gonna do anything because there's no FIR? Could they not see that this is in his house and there's strangers here that are raiding his house and are like intimidating?
It's ridiculous. I don't know at what point the police showed up, but yeah, no, it's freaking insane. And Oxymoron is saying, good thing that he's jailed. He's safe there. Unfortunately, this is a sentiment that I have seen repeated other places as well.
Wait,
I don't think he's still in jail, though.
Wait, does that mean, is it possible that the police was actually sensible and they were like, this man needs our help, let's put him in jail because he's going to die if we don't put him in jail? Like, is that possible?
I have seen some reporting that says that they're like, oh, this is like protective custody. And then, but most reporting is that he was taken by the police not for protective custody, but because there was an FIR filed against him for blasphemy. And
but maybe that's the official reason. Maybe that's the official reason, but the unofficial reason is that we need to save the man.
I don't know if that's how that works because that's still going to be on the record that he was arrested for blasphemy. Yeah. So this was a big story that happened last week. So a bunch of the stories we're going to be talking about this week are, again, still more fallout from the Nipur Sharma blasphemy cases. It is still evolving. It is still ongoing. We're like 3 or 4 weeks out. There's still fallout from this. And this is a major instance of this. One thing that really bothers me, though, is when I was looking for a reporting on this, is that Indian media continues to refer to Saad as a Muslim. And I'm like, he literally says in his posts, I reject all religions. I effing hate them all. I'm like, that doesn't sound like someone who's a Muslim to me. Yeah, they continue to, or they're like comments like, oh, this just shows how hard it is to be a moderate Muslim. I'm like, I don't think he's a Muslim guy.
Moderate Muslim
background. Yeah.
They think like that somebody who's like anti-religion because he's like anti-religion, he's a moderate Muslim. Oh my God, how moderate Muslim? Oh yeah, I hate
calls
religion.
The prophet a child abuser. Like, this man is not a like a moderate. What?
Moderate Muslim who hates the prophet. Like, it
makes total sense.
Yeah, it's like it's in his blood. Yeah, exactly. It's in his blood. They really think like Islam or being Muslim is like an ethnic. It's like in your DNA, or you're born with it and you can't get rid of it. You know, maybe they have a Hindu mindset because it's certain religions are ethnic religions, like Zoroastrianism is an ethnic religion, Hinduism is an ethnic religion. True. And Judaism is an ethnic religion, and because these are ethnic religions, they don't understand, like, they have been living with Abrahamism for so long, they don't understand that Christianity and Islam are not ethnic religions. You can move in and out of them as you choose. I mean you have to be brave to move out of Islam, especially in India, but like you can still move out of it. Like it's not like anyways. Oh, my dog.
Yeah, no, I loved this guy's comments, though. He was just so he made these series of posts in his Instagram stories, which I actually saw like screenshots of his posts. And I don't know, I just like how he speaks like so plainly. And he is just like, guys, are you serious? Like, this isn't okay. Why are we kidding ourselves? Like, wake up. Like, I'm calling upon the citizens of India to move past this. And this line was so funny to me. Parentheses, I already know how much hate I'll get for posting this, and be prepared to be misunderstood because you people are still kids. Said with the true sass of like a teenager. Like, I love it. Like, I love this kid. um
Oh, Gotham is here, by the way, and
oh
also
nice.
hi, Gotham, and Christy is here as well.
Christy, hi Christy. Um they oh my gosh. So Forever Stormy is saying he has an Abrahamic mindset, according to Indians. He's Armin's cousin. Oh, we have a little doggy here. Oh,
um,
kisses. Um, yeah, I think it was this whole thing is so crazy. But if you scroll down in the post, we can watch some of the footage.
okay, I have to ask a question before we watch some of the footage.
Mhm.
Is it? I think more. Is it okay to suggest, because I don't want to be responsible for anyone, anything happening to anybody, but do you think it would be a good idea to suggest for more people in India to come out and um, say that Muhammad was a child abuser, right? And by the way, guys, I think
Oh.
let me just give you a tip, because some people like want to go like explicit and say the most vile things. In my experience, when you just say it without like acting like really
You
crazy,
don't have to exaggerate it. The facts are
without
already bad
exaggerating,
enough.
yeah, if you say it, if you just lay out the claim, right, very subtly, without like being like mad, like without swearing or anything like that, or without making it cartoonishly explicitly ugly or something, that's actually has a bigger impact. Because if you act like that, if you act like try to like swear and use like really derogatory words, they can dismiss you because they are just write you off as a loon, right? But if you just like calmly and very clearly just say like, yes, Muhammad was a child abuser, okay, he had intimate sexual relationships with a minor, okay, and you just don't, that actually gets a bigger reaction, okay, because you can't be written off as somebody who's just like hateful or crazy, right? That frustrates them even more. Okay, so I think if you want to do it that way. That's my suggestion. And also, do you think like that we should suggest for more people in India to do this, because there's safety? They say there's safety in numbers. Like if a lot of people do this, then I don't know if this applies to India, because there's also a lot of people that are like, no, don't worry, there's a lot of us. We will get to every single one of them. So I don't know if it's. I
Oh
don't want to.
no.
I don't want to suggest this, but do you think like more people should come out and say this about Muhammad, so that it desensitizes the situation, and there's like eventually there's no reaction to it? What do you think? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Um I think it highly, highly, highly depends on the region in which you live and your local community, and also your ability to protect yourself with the means necessary should a problem arise, whether that be the financial means necessary to move when things get too hot for you or what be it. Um, I don't know if now is the best time
Mm.
because right now, like we were already dealing with a backdrop of like increasing violence, particularly against religious minorities, right? And that the temperature on that has been like cranking up for years now. And but then this has had the temperature in the country up on a whole different level, to the point where it's reached the attention the international stage. So I don't know if now is the best time, because like so that means that everyone's emotions are high, particularly regarding this issue. So I don't know when everyone's emotions are at their highest, if right now would be the best time for everyone to start coming out and talking this way. I think because the emotions are already so high and people are already going out and assaulting people over this kind of thing, like it might just snowball and lead to even more of that. But in theory, like having more people exposed to the idea of like just talking about these things, like is a good one. I would maybe encourage more like organizations, like ex-Muslim organizations, to take up that kind of a mantle, because they would have more organizing power and like more of a platform and more connections to help each other should things go awry than just an individual. What do you think about that? What do you think about my idea or thoughts about that?
I don't know. It's a good theory, but I don't think we can evaluate what's the best. I don't know. I don't have enough information to judge. I do, however, want to point out. I scared my dogs. I do want to point out that there's some level of hypocrisy happening here. Okay, because when we had our blasphemous art against Hinduism out, people were like, even if you're right, you shouldn't be doing this because you're going to cause chaos. Okay. But the same people who said that, like, oh, Armin, you have no idea. You're going to cause violence. This is bad. This is horrible. People are going to turn on each other. Like, what are you talking about? We're just depicting Hindu goddesses. I'm like, no. You're going to cause disharmony in society. And India doesn't need this right now. Stop it, Armin. Stop it. Okay. And the same people are now celebrating these anti-Muhammad statements. Okay? And then Nupur, the first comment by the politician as well, right? They're like, yes, Queen, thank you. Say this about Muhammad, okay? But I would suggest that where are your claims that this causes disharmony and violence in India? In India, this is not what India needs. Where are you? Where are those guys? Because I would suggest
for the Hindu blasphemy, it's nothing in comparison to this. It's nothing in comparison to this.
Yeah, did anybody die because of it? Nobody died, but because of this, people are like,
dying.
But still, you guys are like, yes, Queen. Thank you so much. Say it. So there's a hypocrisy here.
I think. We have some comments I want to get into. So in terms of should people try to normalize blasphemy by the dissemination of it, the tactic we were talking about earlier, Stormy is saying, at the moment I think it's a bad idea because Indian Muslims have been cornered into a position where they have no other identity besides being Muslims. This will only make things worse. Interesting perspective. In response to that, Kanye Baba said, Indian secular Muslim, you are already a rare species. Please don't do it. Like, we need as many as we can. Don't put yourself at risk.
Okay, India, but again, not all of them are Muslim, but yeah, secular Muslim.
No, but there are Indian secular Muslims, but yeah, they are a rare breed. Nanda, who I rarely agree with, I agree with on this. Nanda is saying ex-Muslim tsunami is happening in India. Yes, true. Especially in the South. It's awesome to see.
I mean, technically, anything that happens in India, it's a tsunami because everything is much bigger in India. Whatever happens, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really exciting to see just like the growth of this movement, though, because they are like really starting to have an impact and receive a lot of attention for it, which is so exciting.
Okay, there's some disagreement in the live chat because Oxymoron agrees also by Forever Stormy on this, but somebody is like, okay, so the username something I don't remember is saying, please suggest a good moment. Like if it's not a good moment, like
that is a good point. If not now, when is going to be a good moment?
Because maybe then if you want to have conditions for when, maybe those conditions will be never met, and you guys are saying like we shouldn't be.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just say before anyone like undertakes anything, like really carefully weigh the own risks or think about the legal consequences. Everyone's responsible for their own safety and well-being. So please be thoughtful.
D is like, no, stop bowing. Yeah, to the mob. Like some people are saying like, yeah, okay, well, actually that's another good point, okay? Because if you like, oh my God, these people are like too intimidating, right? So we should stop, we shouldn't say anything and we should give in to the mob, then maybe you're actually you might be encouraging more violence because you're signaling to the mob that
it works, that their tactics work.
that their intimidation tactics work, and we're like, okay, guys, hey guys, we need to pick up the violence because they are bending the knee. So maybe you're showing them that these methodology works. So it could actually backfire if you give it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all very good points. How about we watch like 2 minutes of this first
This one, the
video.
first one.
Yeah, not the
Let me
whole
know if you
thing.
have audio.
19-year-old Saad Ansari was repeatedly dragged out of his house, abused, all kinds of names were called, and then he was slapped. Take a look at this disgusting image from Bhiwandi in Maharashtra. Saad Ansari is a 19-year-old engineering student. He put out an internet post where he denounced all religion. He denounced the many things that religions say. He denounced many things about his own religion. And he did not specifically attack Nupur Sharma. That was his crime. And this is how a cowardly mob descended on his residence, dragged him out, and as you can see, one of those cowards even slapped him. Take a look at what happened, because the viral silence around Saad Ansari by those who preach so much about freedom of expression is being broken tonight on India Today.
Wait, we can't show that, can we?
No, the rest of this just shows the general violence across India. That's all I wanted to show.
Okay, I don't want to show I don't want to show the rest because YouTube might be like, yeah, you can't show that. Okay. What is this? Yeah. Okay. All right, that was a good report.
Yeah, I think so. This story really picked up steam because of the work and reporting and journalism of India Today. This wasn't going to have any like real action from the police if it wasn't because of their efforts. So but that being said, India Today is definitely a right-leaning outlet with mixed factual reporting histories. So that's just kind of like a disclosure. Yeah, Forever Stormy is saying that reporter is a nationalist. This is what happens when ex-Muslims speak out. They're simply appropriated. Yes, and that's a very good point. Because
but still, like, I'm glad it's getting coverage. Like, I mean, it's better than nobody. Like, okay, so a reporter being ultra nationalist or right leaning, we could criticize for them for whatever they're saying when they say, like, if they have any views that we disagree on, we could focus on that and why we disagree on it. But on this, we should be appreciating the fact that we're covering it and bringing attention to it. Like, I think. People are saying that it's terrifying, and something I don't know is saying this is nothing new. Even many Muslim politicians who have shown support in the past have met same fate. I don't think.
Oh, I should also note the India Today reported that a member of a mob was a local, a contractor or organizer for the Congress Party. I don't know how true that is, but if true, that's a freaking embarrassment, and I hope that guy gets suspended as soon as possible.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. They were reporting on this, like zooming in on this one dude. I was like, oh my God. Freaking embarrassment. So, yeah, if true, Congress Party. Go fix that. That's a no. That's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right. Can we clap for the next news?
We're going to clap because we get to dunk on Islamic homophobia.
Dunking on Islamic homophobia.
Next news. Saudi authorities confiscate rainbow-colored toys in LGBT crackdown. You can't make this up. Earlier this week, officials in Saudi Arabia seized toys and clothing with... Sorry.
No way. Oh my God, this picture.
I need to start over.
Guys, wait. Go on.
Okay, I'm going to take it from the top. Saudi authorities...
But I want this included. Go on.
Okay. Next news. Saudi authorities confiscate rainbow-colored toys in LGBT crackdown. Earlier this week, officials in Saudi Arabia seized toys and clothing in the colors of quote unquote the colors of homosexuality from stores in Riyadh. According to the authorities, rainbow colored objects referred to the LGBT pride flag that encourages homosexuality amongst children, which is contrary to the Islamic
Oh my
faith.
God.
The Commerce Ministry tweeted that the items were removed from the stores as they, quote, contain symbols and signs that call for deviation and contradict common sense. Stores that are found continuing to sell these rainbow colored objects will face legal penalties. In Saudi Arabia, where Sharia, the Islamic laws, are enforced, homosexuality is seen as a severely punishable offense that can result in flogging or capital punishment. The country does not recognize, permit, or celebrate same-sex marriages and domestic partnerships. Obviously. In a statement released last year, Islamic scholar Abdulaziz al-Sheikh, the current Grand Mufti and the most influential Muslim leader of the country, said that people belonging to the LGBT community are quote unquote a disgrace in this world. A similar crackdown on stores selling rainbow colored toys happened in the neighboring country of Qatar in December 2021.
Okay, so there's a picture here. This is a Saudi official pointing at a toy that has the rainbow colors on it and like pointing. It's just, I don't know why, but I find this picture so funny. It's like, that's illegal. That's haram. It has rainbow on it. Like, what do you, okay.
It's so stupid. No, you can play that video, but like don't put on the audio because it's like nothing important. But so we
Okay.
can see more of the toys that they're confiscating.
Oh my God. Everything rainbow goes away?
It's like unicorns. It's like colored pencils, pencil cases, like backpacks. Haram.
So there's nothing in rainbow color, like in Saudi Arabia. There's no rainbows. Like there's nothing. Okay, what if there's a rainbow in the sky?
Oh, you better close your eyes because it's encouraging homosexuality.
Okay, first of all, good job to the LGBT community for being. This means that your takeover over the rainbow has been complete now. You are like, you're officially owned, because the entire, like, yeah, this is a confirmation that the rainbow apparently belongs to you completely now. Also, there should be there should be a clip, okay, a comedy like clip where like there's a mother and father, and then the mother says like, oh look, there's a rainbow, and then like the dad is like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden they look at each other shocked. They're like, oh no, Billy is outside. And then the mother like, no, Billy, and they just run into the yard trying to save Billy, and Billy is like playing with his toys, and all of a sudden slowly looks into the sky, and the dad is like running like, no, Billy, and he looks into the sky and like sees the rainbow, like, and then it cuts. It was too late. Billy turned gay. He saw the rainbow. Like, anyways, guys, protect your children from rainbows. By the way, do they literally think like these kids are gonna turn gay because they have like rainbow colored toys?
A rainbow colored unicorn pencil? I don't know. It's insane. It's literally insane. Like, so one thing I posted on my Instagram stories, I posted a screenshot of this news, and then I put the caption, the real gay agenda is to make homophobes terrified of anything rainbow colored.
Okay. Oh, we should show them a rainbow Kaaba.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're not ready for the rainbow Kaaba.
They what do they fit? By the way, rainbow. There's the rainbow Quran. Where's my rainbow Quran?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Haram. This is my rainbow Quran. Haram.
Oh, I have one too. It's over there.
Do you think if I have a rainbow Quran, okay, does reading the rainbow Quran make someone gay? Or because it's the Quran, the good forces are fighting the evil force? Which one overpowers?
We'll get your head out of the gutter, Armin. It's only rainbow colored to help you navigate the different surahs in Tajweed, okay?
I know, but they are saying anything rainbow colored turns you gay. So even if I wasn't intentionally gay, it does make you gay. It's rainbow.
Oh my god. Well, that's definitely going to be outlawed there.
This was made in Indonesia. I don't think they intentionally were making. They're like, rainbows are pretty. Yeah, this
I
is
think
weird.
it's so funny how like the rainbow is universally seen as one of the most beautiful like natural phenomena in the world. And like you're destroying your own ability to just enjoy something that's beautiful because of your own like homophobia. And also I think some of it has to do with I'm actually not going to get into that.
Are
It kind of-
Skittles illegal? Are Skittles illegal in Saudi Arabia?
Oh my gosh, good question.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Wait, you
But-
still have to show a rainbow Kaaba.
Oh, do we have
well,
it here?
No. You. Oh wait, I do want to show that tweet by Qatar though. Scroll back down to the bottom. So
This
here's
one?
when Qatar did a crackdown on rainbow toys. So here you see a shelf of toys, and they're like the little kinds where you pop them back and forth. Kids love these because it's very satisfying. And it says so like the Ministry of Qatar carried out inspection campaigns on several retail outlets in different regions across Qatar. The campaigns resulted in the seizure and release of several violations, including confiscation of children's toys bearing slogans which go against Islamic values.
Slogans, they're just in rainbow color.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's just a rainbow color.
Haram.
Wow, the rainbow
You're
has
corrupting the
been made
children.
illegal. Wait, is it? Don't we have it also in Islam? Okay, so what is it? Just in Christianity or also in Islam, where God like signaled to Noah that okay, everything is okay.
Oh
now
no,
with the-
God
with the
definitely
rainbow.
created the rainbow, and yeah.
No, I know God created the rainbow, but God also created evil in Islam. So the rainbow might be evil, but I'm just saying, didn't he like sign the sky with his promise with the rainbow?
It's
Or
the
is that just
promise of his
Christian?
covenant
Yeah. Okay.
to
So the
never
promise of his
do mass
covenant
genocide again.
like I promise.
I will not drown the whole world.
It's his signature in case he forgets, like that he said that, because the first time he said something he forgot and like, oopsie, I shouldn't have done this. I promise I will not kill most of the planet ever again. Sign God. Allah. Maybe God is gay.
This is really funny. Forever Stormy is saying, do these idiots not know that white light that's all around us is made up of rainbow colors? Are they gonna confiscate the sun next?
True. Bread of
And
Life
Nanda's
is here.
asking, is there a specific color code for homos? There actually is. Look up the hanky or handkerchief color code system evolved out of the leather kink scene. And depending on the color of the handkerchief that you have out of your back pocket, and if it's on the left or right side, it communicates to people exactly what you're into and what you're looking for. So is there a specific color code for homos? Yes. It's a thing.
By the way, Bread of Life, we sent you another email. I don't know if she saw it. She's
Oh
not
no,
getting
yeah,
your
no, I'm gonna
emails.
reply today. Armin, don't worry about it. I've been corresponding.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh wait, before we start the next news, PK earlier commented, I'm surprised you guys aren't covering Roe v. Wade. So obviously this is a huge thing that just happened. It was announced yesterday. That's too short of a time for us to like prepare a whole thing for it. We already had all the news prepared beforehand. So we're definitely going to be diving into more depth next week. And yeah, it's a weird time
Yes.
to be an American.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can you check if I have the right next news up properly before we
Yes, you do.
Okay. Can we clap for this one?
This is freaking wild. Yeah, we can clap.
Did anyone die? Because there's the boom boom.
No, you have the wrong news again.
Well, I told you to check. You said yes, I have the right
Sorry,
one.
it's very tiny.
Okay, let me check. Which one is Alexa? I have the order right. No, that is the next news. The order that I have is like number 3. Number 3 is the boom boom of the temple.
Oh, I messed this up. I'm the one who messed this up. Oh, I'm sorry, Armin.
Okay,
Oh no, I'm sorry for getting so annoyed with you earlier. This is all my fault. Oh my god, I
okay,
feel
so
terrible.
last time I had the news up, I had the correct news up then? The last time? Okay.
For the way you look at it, yeah. This is my
Okay.
fault. I
Okay, it's okay.
apologize.
It's okay, can we
So
do
okay,
this one?
we'll
Yeah.
do that one next.
Oh, which one? Which one do I
No, the
have
one that
to
you have
bring?
pull up, we'll do it.
Okay. Is this clappable?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay, this is why I was also so confused
This
because
is why
last
we
time
need.
I had
There's a
this
lot
up.
going on today.
I had this up, and you were like, "Can we clap?" I'm like, and you're like, "Yes, we can clap." I'm like, "But there's a boom boom." But I'm saying boom boom because I don't want to trigger YouTube's. Actually, we're gonna talk about it. Never mind. But there's a boom boom going on. I thought like maybe it's because there's a boom boom and nobody died, but people did die. So no clapping for the next news. All right, next news.
Sorry, Forever Stormy said we finally get to see that Susanna is fallible. Okay, Susanna guilty. It's all my fault. Okay, now that I get that laugh out of the system, I gotta do very serious news. Okay, next news. ISIS bombs Sikh temple in retaliation for insults to the Prophet Muhammad. On June 18th, a Sikh temple in Kabul, Afghanistan was attacked, leaving a Sikh devotee and a Taliban security officer dead and 7 injured. By the way, guys, we say ISIS just for the YouTube algorithm. We all know what bad group I'm talking about. Okay, so ISIS Khorasan, or ISISK, later claimed that the attack was a retaliation for the comments made by Nupur Sharma, a now suspended member of India's ruling party. In May, Sharma criticized the Prophet Muhammad and his marriage to a 6-year-old child during a televised debate. Her comments sparked violent protests in many states across India, leaving two teenagers dead. In a statement on the Telegram messaging app, ISISK claimed the attack was, quote, an act of revenge for insulting the Prophet Muhammad. Khalid Zadran, a spokesperson for the Kabul's police chief, said the security forces were able to act quickly to control the attack. Zadran also claimed that the Taliban forces neutralized the attackers in a short period. Zabihullah Mujahid, a Taliban spokesman, condemned the attack on the Sikh temple and called the attackers, quote, the enemies of the Afghan people. So I wanted to cover this one because this attack on this, I can never pronounce it right. A Sikh temple is called like a Gurdwara. That got a lot of news. And then it came out later that according to ISISK, this is actually in retaliation for this supposed insult and blasphemy. And I didn't even realize that there were still Sikhs left in Afghanistan at this point. Even before, last August when Kabul fell to the Taliban, like there were only like 300 Sikhs left in the country, and most of them have since fled. And now there's only a few families left who are still there and maintain the temple. And yeah, this attack was, enacted on them, even though it's so clear that they see no distinction between like, oh, this was a Hindu politician that said this, like these people are Sikhs, doesn't matter, infidels, let's go attack them. Like, completely different communities, obviously religious communities, but more like also just completely different nations, doesn't matter, we'll go attack them, who cares. Yeah, I thought it's also Forever Stormy is saying the fact that there was a Taliban security guard is probably the reason why they're still there. They were actually, so what part of what happened was that they had filled up a truck full of explosives and they were going to just go or run the car like into the temple. But the the truck exploded before they even got there. So that was like major, like, mess up from their end. But obviously that probably saved way more lives. There were reportedly 30 people inside the temple at the time of the attack, but there was one self-deletion boom boom guy. That is my YouTube code for the people that explode themselves, who managed to throw like a grenade into the temple, and yeah, so it killed a devotee and a Taliban security guy, and injured numerous other people. Armin, do you have any thoughts about this?
Okay, some Higgs boson is saying self-deletion. What does that mean? Guys, we're using coded language because if you use the S, the SU, this word, that's why YouTube will punish us for it. So that's why we don't use it. I mean, how could you, like, I don't know what to say. It's obviously insane. Like, how could you comment on this much more? Some people are pointing out that the Sikhs had nothing to do with it. Obviously, it seems like ISIS doesn't understand the difference between Hindus and Sikhs. But I don't like that comment, because saying the Sikhs had nothing to do with it, I know you didn't mean it like that, the people in the live chat, but saying the Sikhs had nothing to do with it will kind of suggest that if this was a Hindu temple, then they had got it right, okay? Because it indirectly is promoting collectivism, because even if this was a Hindu temple, the Hindus had nothing to do with it either. Like we're like I know you didn't mean it like that, but it's kind of like saying like, oh well at least they got the right people. Like, how is that the right people? These people have nothing to do with each other. I mean, separate from the fact that this is like this is nothing wrong for us to condemn anybody over, but even if it's not guilt by association, any kind of association wouldn't be legitimate. Whether it was like, so, hitting, I mean, this does show their ignorance about the difference between Sikhs and Hinduism. But even if they just by mistake had an Islamic mosque, for example, it would have been as relevant as them getting a Hindu temple. They would be as relevant, They could have hit a hospital and it would have been as relevant as hitting a Hindu temple. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
It makes total sense. I think that's a very good point, because we shouldn't say, oh yeah, they got it wrong, like, because we don't want them to get it. We don't want them to punish any community because of the actions of some random other person, right?
Yeah, there's no way to get it right. Okay. But also another thing I want to point out is that, so what is the Taliban's role in this? They're like protecting the Sikh community. Like, they're trying to put?
They've had a lot of protection to this particular Sikh temple in Kabul for some time. So they are making an effort to have security, but unfortunately they don't have any skills for counterinsurgency, because I mean they were usually the insurgency, and they don't have the support of like other intelligence agencies helping them. Like, one thing that I would like you to comment on, Armin, because this is one thing you're knowledgeable about, is just kind of like from the perspective of ISIS Khorasan signaling to the nation the capability of the Taliban to protect the citizenry. Because I think that's a larger part of the story that's also very important.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the Taliban is neither ideologically or experience-wise ready to do something like this. Like, I don't like protecting and creating stability is something that Taliban fighters have been doing for a while, for the past 20 years. Like, they're like, what ISIS-K is doing, Khorasan is doing, this is what the Taliban fighters have been doing for the past 20 years, and this is what they are comfortable with, creating chaos, not creating stability. So now
they're like, how the turntables.
Yeah.
This isn't so fun when I'm on the other side of this equation.
But okay, but it's not just like we don't have experience with this. Like, so this is why ISISK or ISIS Khorasan will have some success, not in recruiting, you know, because they're like, hey guys, do you not want to be on the side of attacking and creating chaos? Like, aren't you more comfortable with that role? Because a lot of these fighters are more comfortable with that role rather than guarding people and creating security. But ideologically, also, they're putting Taliban in a position where they're protecting infidels. And a lot of Taliban sympathizers are not comfortable with that being like, what are we doing? Like, a lot of them are like, we're supposed to fight the infidels and like bring Islam. Now we're like protecting infidels. Like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not the pathway to heaven. I don't think so. So again, there is like an ideological, like, there's even a lot of Taliban members who are like kind of who are stressed out that that they're not doing something Islamic, and maybe they're not even going to die in battle or something like that. Also, like, worse than protecting Sikhs, some of them are worried about the fact that they're being made to protect Shias. That is like, what are you doing?
God.
What are we doing here? Who are we? Are we even Taliban anymore? Like, they're looking in the mirror like, why am I protecting Shias? Is this like, should I follow God or should I follow my commands? Because the two don't seem to be different these days. Like, so again, there's an identity crisis. Taliban is turning in on itself. There are some people, but there's some people that want to go the old ways and be like harsh and Islamic, and there's some people like, we need international recognition, we need the money, and they're like, and some, you know, and there's a rift, there's like an internal conflict. And again, the ISIS, by doing things like this, they know what to do to, because this might be seem like a small attack on the legitimacy of Taliban. But even the smallest attacks, I mean, not small because people died, but relatively to war, these are smaller attacks, like given what Taliban is used to. But this might be more effective at attacking Taliban than directly going to war with Taliban, right? Because, like, for example, if you attack the Shias or attack the Sikhs, you might think like, well, only one Talibani guard or soldier died. But again, it's a much bigger danger to Taliban doing these things than going into full frontal war with Taliban itself. Because in fact, that will strengthen the Taliban. Because, oh my God, thank God we have an enemy that we could unite against, right? But this causes division with the Taliban. So whoever these people are very smart about their strategy. So they might, again, so we were just saying that, oh, these people are stupid because they're attacking Sikhs instead of Hindus. They can't tell the difference. But I don't know, Susanna, I don't think there are Hindus in Afghanistan. Maybe
there used to be.
I know there used to be, but I think this might be like the closest India-related thing that they could find. Like, maybe
Actually,
they are.
I don't know if there still are, but when there still were Hindus in Afghanistan, like at the time of the takeover, 100%.
I know at the time of the takeover, yes, but I think after, I heard I don't know, all of them or some of them left. I don't know if there's anything left. I mean, I'm just saying, like, maybe there wasn't that many options for them to pick up.
It's like ethnic cleansing.
Yeah, and also there's an earthquake, and people are saying, meanwhile, Afghans suffer endlessly. Yes. Yeah. But again, there were Bengali Hindu is saying there were Hindus at least 1 year ago. But what about now? I heard there's no Hindus left.
I would bet that there are a few stragglers. There are probably a few people left behind. If there were still some Sikhs, like, there must be at least a few left behind as well. I was shocked.
So Bengali Hindu is saying they have been attacked even before this. Few Sikhs are left. No Hindus are left.
We're getting conflicting information.
Just very okay. No, they're getting confirmation. The Oxymoron is saying there are Hindus in Afghanistan, just very few. Oh, Babak is here. Hi, Babak.
Oh, Babak. Hey, Juna.
There's okay, they're still on the ground. Okay, there are few left guarding temples. Anyways, I hope India gets them, whatever Sikhs or Hindus are in Afghanistan. I hope India makes it easy for them to go to India if they wish to, and
Yeah.
supports them if they need to.
Well, I mean, that was actually kind of the point of the CAA,
Mm-hmm.
which was very controversial. We can't even get into all that right now.
Yeah. So no,
Oh,
wait. Some people might be like, "Oh, see, yeah, you guys are seeing the point of the CAA."
I actually do see the point of CAA.
Yeah.
I
So
actually do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, no, the CAA is a good thing. It would have been better if, I don't know, some Shias wanting to escape Pakistan or some Sunnis wanting to escape Iran. It like, I don't know, they're oppressed as well. So why don't you open the door to them, right? Like they are like no Muslims, thank you very much. So we're not against accepting refugees. We're against accepting refugees selectively. Okay. Oh, Oxymoron is saying they don't want to come to India. Yes, that's why I say if they want to come to India, I hope like India makes that easy for them. But yeah, obviously if they don't want to.
And forever, just to note, this is important. CAA doesn't apply here. It has a 2014 cutoff. True, but this kind of issue is part of the impetus behind it. Anyways, this next story is freaking wild.
Do I have the right one selected? Can you look at
yes,
the
you
tiny
do. I fixed it. So we're all good now.
Okay. Can I clap now? Can we clap for the next news?
Next news. Islamists attack yoga retreat in the Maldives. This story is crazy. On June 21st, a radical Islamist mob stormed the Maldives' national stadium to intimidate and attack people participating in an event called the Yoga Day. The event was organized jointly by the Indian High Commission and the Maldivian government, with more than 150 participants, including officials representing the governments of India and the United Kingdom. Islamic protesters invaded Galolhul National Stadium, chased and attacked the participants, and vandalized the property. A few hours before the event, 2 Islamic activists called a quote-unquote peaceful protest in front of the stadium. After some provocative speeches, the mob broke through the police barricades and entered the stadium and began pushing and hitting the peaceful yoga practitioners. A group of roughly 50 men, led by Sheikh Adam Nisham and Sheikh Fazlun Muhammad, 2 well-known Islamic scholars in the country, stormed the event waving Islamist flags and banners and running through the field shouting Allahu Akbar.
Amazing. That's crazy.
Footage. Play this footage. Okay, something is wrong with this footage, and there's like a weird green screen effect going on. But okay, one thing to watch before we hit play is that there are a lot of people just sitting there as an Islamist mob proceeds to charge the field, and I'm like, why are you sitting there? Freaking get up and run! Like, I would be moving so fast, but they're just like continuing to chill on their yoga mat. I was shocked.
It's
Anyways,
because
let's watch this.
because they're yoga practitioners. They're too calm. See, this is the harm.
Chill.
This is the problem with yoga. It just works too well. You're just so it makes you so chill. Then even if an Islamist mob is coming at you, you just sit there calmly looking at it until you're dead. So don't do too much. Do yoga in moderation. This is too much calm, okay? You have to be running at this point, okay? So, all right, let's watch this. Wait, I need to unmute. Maybe you should describe it to the people who are listening at the podcast. All right.
Okay, so if you're listening and you don't have visuals, they're like a group of people in rows sitting on yoga mats, and then from one corner, a huge group of men comes flooding through. They have flagpoles. They start screaming. They start about like hitting people with the flags. Look at. Yeah, and they're not even like the Maldivian flag. These are clearly Islamist flags.
Okay. I have to comment on this part.
This is freaking crazy.
No. Okay, more crazier. Okay, it's crazy that an Islamist mob is attacking a whole bunch of yoga practitioners. Okay, but the crazier part is this guy. This guy right here is crazier than the mob. Okay, because he's watching a mob coming at them, and he's like getting up, but he's like, "Let me get my mat." Look at him.
Oh yeah.
Look, he's like getting his mat. Like, dude, run! There's a mob. There's an Islamist mob coming at you. He's collecting.
No
his
one
yoga
cares
mat.
about the yoga mat. Freaking book it.
Look, he's like, okay, let me. And he wait a second. He wanted to roll it like, like my mat. I have to get my mat. Oh my god, what is wrong with you guys? Run! Okay.
Babak is asking a very good question. Babak is asking, why is yoga haram? Well, according to these people, it's because when you do yoga, you are bowing to the sun. That's like what they were saying in part of their speeches to like rile people up. They're like sun worshippers. They're bowing to the sun.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
absolute nonsense.
Hindu,
and it comes
I
from
mean,
Hinduism.
Yeah, it's
So-
a Hindu practice. And well, I mean, yoga is a lot more than the stretching effects that we know be associated with yoga. It is like a Hindu ritual. A lot of us think it's just stretching, but it's a Hindu. Like there's a lot more to yoga than it's a way. Anyways, it's a religious practice, so that's why. Yeah.
No, okay, but this comes up with this. There's other stuff that's going on here. Like it's bigger than this. So part of this has to do with obviously the Maldives is a very Islamized society. Okay, so they were also furious about the recent blasphemy against the Prophet Muhammad. So that was a big part of this. Like there were pictures of Modi with a boot on his face, like all over the place, like posted on trash cans, like huge outrage in the Maldives. But then the additional thing is that India and the Maldives has, in many ways, a very friendly relationship in terms of like trade and some military support and stuff. But domestically, there is a huge anti-India movement in the Maldives because people of certain parties feel that India is turning Maldives into their own personal military base. And so there's a huge India out movement, hashtag India out movement that's going on in the Maldives, partially pushed by the opposition Progressive Party, who is actually like supporting a bunch of like very Islamist like parties and policies and people. So you know what may have led to this, you know, as there's many different levels. There's like the initial, oh my god, yoga is haram, and then there's also like the general backdrop of the global outrage to this, you know, insult to the prophet. And the third thing is this general growing anti-India sentiment in the Maldives. And it led to this. What shocked me was that there were like diplomatic officials at this event. Like diplomats.
Whoa.
Like from the UK, from India, here at this event. And so the fact that this happened and there was a security breach like this is actually a huge deal. And now, like, the president has ordered an investigation into all this because it was a huge embarrassment to them.
You know who could use some yoga? Muslims could use yoga, because I heard praying 5 times a day, it's really bad for your joints. Did you know that? It is.
What?
The way you do the sajda. Well, actually, this is the superiority of Hinduism over Islam. Okay, because
Ooh, let's hear it.
Yoga has scientifically been proven. I mean, not the religious part of it, but the stretching part of it. Okay, has been scientifically been proven to be good. It's good for you. Okay, like it's good for so many things. Okay, and Islamic prayer has been proven to be bad for your joints. Okay, especially the sajda, the way that you put you bend your knee and you put your weight on your body, right? And by the way, a lot of Muslims don't know that when you're sitting on your knees, you could like, go lean sideways so that it reduces the pressure on your knees. I mean, it's still bad, but it's like you shouldn't be sitting like that. on your knees, with all the weight on your knees when you're like bending them like that. So it's really bad. And what could alleviate that issue is doing a little bit of yoga. So maybe Muslims should give yoga a little bit of a shot. So again, this is something that Hinduism is better than Islam. Bad.
Priyash
Good
is
for your
saying,
Yeah.
I love you so much, I'll destroy my joints for you.
By the way, there's a lot of fake news by Muslims saying that, oh, the Islamic, the way that your body, what you do with your body during the prayer, like the positions that you have, is actually has been proven to be good for you. It's look, Islam, it is scientifically good for you because it does this and that, and that's completely wrong. It's actually bad for you, especially when the fact that you do it 5 times a day. It's really bad for your joints. In fact, as a Muslim, if you have joint problems, it's Islamically, you're allowed to use a chair. So you shouldn't be doing a sajda or anything if you have joint problems. Use a chair and just pray on a chair. Anyways, there's some comments here. Forever Stormy is saying he paid $10 for it, Armin.
He paid $10 for that yoga mat. No, and people are pointing out they should just say that it's a prayer rug.
Oh, another thing. Yoga mats are superior to prayer rugs. They are better for sitting on the floor. The cushiony thing. Prayer rugs don't have that. So in so many ways, Hinduism is winning over Islam.
I hope all the people that call us Islamist propagandists are taking note.
This is just taqiyya, though.
Oh, you're right. I forgot.
You're right. Yeah.
Forever Stormy is saying Hindus attack Santa, Muslims attack yoga. These guys have no chill.
Wait, Christians also attack yoga. Not in this way. Those Christian moms who are like, don't teach our kids yoga. This is like pagan practice. Okay. At least they don't form a mob and attack. So, imagine this happening with Christians. It doesn't. Yeah.
They only do that to attack pride parades. Don't worry.
They do? They don't.
No, that's happened recently.
Formed a mob and attacked.
Did you not hear about all the white supremacists that got nabbed at the Idaho Pride?
Okay, they are white supremacists. They didn't do it in the name of religion.
Yeah, but they're also like Christian nationalists. Like they count as Christians.
Sure. I don't think. Okay, I think there's a big difference in motivation between if they just happen to be Christian, it's different than doing that with the motivation of Christianity. I think they're just bigots and homophobes.
I disagree. Okay. But that's a totally different topic.
All right. Can you look if I have the Egyptian?
All the rest of the news is right. I fixed it.
Okay.
You don't have to worry.
But still, it's better to check it.
Wait, this is funny. Izzy is saying bowing down in downward dog is obviously kissing Satan's ass. And you better do it nicely too.
Downward dog is what does that position look like? How's it? What is his ass doing there? Hold on, let me see. Downward dog.
You don't know downward dog?
I do know, but I do know that doesn't look like kissing anyone's ass.
Well, if Satan's underground.
Okay, sure. Okay. All right, can we clap for the next news?
No, this is really sad.
Okay, next news.
Egyptian woman murdered in public for rejecting marriage proposal. On June 20th in Mansoura, Egypt, Nayera Ashraf Abdel Gader was stabbed in front of her university after refusing a fellow student's marriage proposal. The murder occurred in broad daylight in front of the university gates after she stepped off of a bus. She died instantly after sustaining fatal injuries to her neck and torso. According to the victim's father, Ashraf had blocked the young man on Facebook for over a year and a half. He had informed the authorities about repeated threats against her, fearing the man would attack his daughter. According to the investigation carried out by the Egyptian police, the murderer is a student, identified only as Mohammed A., who studies at the same university as the victim. Mohammed admitted to the police to having killed Nayera because she refused to have a relationship with him and marry him. A similar incident occurred only 2 days later in Jordan after a 21-year-old female nursing student was shot dead in the middle of the day at her university campus in Amman. Investigations have started as the police are on the search to identify and apprehend the culprit. Atia Malbrook, a professor in the Department of Islamic Studies at the world-renowned Al-Azhar University in Cairo, advised women to, quote, wear a hijab if they do not want to meet the same fate.
Are you serious? What the hell?
Yes. Yes. So I wanted to cover this story because this was a huge story that was across like the Arabic speaking world. And then, oh yeah, here's this like dumbass professor telling you to wear the hijab and this won't happen to you. And this was very important because I mean it reflects a lot of like ongoing severe issues regarding women's safety in Egypt. And it also stirred up a lot of debate about whether this is honor-based violence or not. Like, Armin, do you think that this is honor-based violence?
I don't know.
Or more just a jilted lover?
No, yeah, more of that. I don't think this could be blamed on honor culture. I don't think this could be, because honor culture would be more if they were, for example, in a relationship and he attacked her and did this because he saw her with another man or indecent, or the father. Like honor culture would be if the father or the husband or the boyfriend or the brother or a male guardian harmed her in a way because they thought that, this is just somebody. Yeah, what did you call it? You had a good name for it.
Honor-based violence?
No. It's something lover.
Jilted lover.
Yeah, okay. Again, I'm not saying that
it's not even a jilted lover because they were never lovers. It's just a rejected man.
A rejected man. Yeah. This is somebody who is, honor culture, like, because honor culture refers to people. It's something more thinking that they own you because they're in a traditional relationship with you. It's again, I'm not saying this is not bad. Obviously, it's just a different type of bad. Okay, and because I don't think it could be honor culture. I don't know how much of it could be blamed on the culture of the country as a whole. Like, do you think is the fact that this is in Egypt? Are we suggesting that this has anything to do with the culture of Egypt or Islam? Because we don't know. Like,
Egypt is notorious for horrible treatment of women.
I know it is, but how much of this can be blamed on that? Like, is this? We don't know exactly. It's very likely, given that it is in Egypt and given how women are treated in Egypt. But this might have been a uniquely troubled, a uniquely insane man that might we don't okay. So what I'm saying is it's tempting for us to just attribute, connect things together, right? We'll say something like this is happening in Egypt. We know the cultural background of Egypt. We know how women are treated in Egypt, and we just come up with a certain conclusion that this man must have been affected by Egypt's culture, okay, or by Islam. But we don't know. I'm just saying we have to be more skeptical, right? Maybe if you knew more, you would realize that no, this person is just independently extremely insane, independent from Egypt's culture or Islam, right? So don't be tempted to just come up with quick conclusions based on information that you don't have, okay? The only part of the story that you could connect to Islam or Egyptian culture is this idiot professor who's saying that maybe she should have been wearing a hijab.
Yeah, I want to read this caption by Sharif. So Sharif Gabor, who if you don't know, is a phenomenal, insanely brave Egyptian ex-Muslim who does phenomenal short films about his criticism of Islam. Go check out his YouTube channel. Anyways, he said yesterday Nadia Ashraf was slaughtered publicly by a guy she refused to marry. This famous Islamic preacher said, quote, either you wear hijab or you'll be slaughtered just like Nadia. And then you hear some blockheads say Muslim women choose to wear the hijab. So I wanted to include this because this was reflective of a lot of stuff I was seeing online regarding this murder. Was a lot of basically religious victim blaming, because she was apparently had a bit of like an online following. She was very pretty, like known for her success in her studies, like, and she was, yeah, growing in popularity. And it's like, well, if you were, just didn't attract so much attention, you don't wear the hijab, like you show off your beauty, like of course men are going to get mad that they can't have you, like, and just a lot of victim blaming that had a very obvious religious flavor to it was a part of this ongoing story. Eric Olson is saying, don't teach girls how to dress, teach boys how to behave. Yes, exactly. I think it's very difficult wearing them.
Let me just defend the boys. Please do not speak about these people as if they represent men, oh, teach men. I just sometimes feel like men get a bad rep because of the action of these people. Okay. Like let's not generalize. Like this anyways, like teach men. Let's not make this a girl versus boy thing. Okay. This is like evil people versus not evil people thing. Okay. This is not men versus women. But go on.
No, but I think it's worth talking about like how, this happened in the midst of a broader culture, Islamic culture, that teaches you that women are responsible for the temptation of men, that they accumulate these sins of every time a man is attracted and tempted to them. So I think this builds into a broader attitude that came to a very deadly consequence here. And what's interesting with this murder that happened a few days later in Jordan was that the victim of that murder was a university student, and she wore a very conservative, very modest hijab. And I received messages from some of my Arabic speaking friends, and I wasn't able to verify this, so take this next part with a grain of salt. But they sent me supposed screenshots of messages that the murderer of this Jordanian woman sent to her, basically saying like, I'm going to do to you what he did to Naria. So supposedly directly referencing this murder of Naria, like inspired by it, and took it out on her. There's also conflicting reports about if the man who murdered this Jordanian woman was also a rejected lover or rejected man, etc. I haven't been able to confirm those things, but I think that that's important to include, like that this was in some ways possibly a copycat crime. But in this case, the woman was very modestly dressed. It didn't stop her from being slaughtered. So again, it's just victim blaming.
Okay, so I'm going to give a controversial take. Okay.
Oh boy.
Maybe the way that, okay, so let's say, for example, wearing the hijab did reduce the chance that you get attacked. Okay.
Hypothetically.
I think it might.
No.
Because the example people give for why it won't is examples of times when people were just modestly and they were still attacked. Okay. That's the proof that it doesn't. However, that is not statistics. That's like anecdotal, right? So for example, maybe it doesn't eliminate the chances of you getting attacked. It just reduces the chances of you getting attacked.
Well, why would you suggest that either without any data?
I'm saying maybe. I don't know, right?
Earlier you said, I think that it might. That is the suggestion, Armin.
Yeah, did you notice the word might?
No, but you're actually like making that claim.
Yeah, I'm making the claim that it might. I'm not making the claim that it's a certain thing. I think that it might. That's not certainty. That's like, I'm just guessing. If I have to guess, this is not a theory. This is like even below a hypothesis, right? That it doesn't eliminate the chances of you getting attacked, but I'm not. Let me tell you why people shouldn't still wear modestly, be modest, even if it's true, right? So my defense of women, having be free is not that, hey, if you dress modestly, you will get less attack, because I'm just saying you shouldn't negotiate with terrorists, basically, right? So let's say there was data that showed, because I do think it might, because I would be so surprised if it didn't. Like somebody who's dressing, very revealing clothes, and somebody who's dressing modestly, if you're saying that the data suggests that the chances of them getting attacked is equal, I would be shocked. I'm saying that's a possibility, but I would, if there was data, I would guess that no, the revealing dress girl has probably a higher chance of getting attacked. Is that so controversial to say?
In some ways, yes.
I mean, well, I think it's a real possibility. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be changing our lifestyle. We shouldn't be made to force to change our lifestyle because of other people intimidating us, right? We want to fix, even if it's true that you might get more attack if you are dressing revealing clothes. We want to change society in a way that you get to still wear revealing clothes because you want to do that. We shouldn't change society so that we bend the knee to people who want to intimidate us into living certain lives. We want to increase security, right? We want to protect women and everybody else in a way that they could have the lives that they want. That's my defense of not promoting modesty culture. I don't want to spread a lie like, oh, it doesn't have any effect. Well, do we know it doesn't have any effect? Maybe if you cover up completely, maybe if you wear a niqab and a chador, then your chances of getting attacked gets close to zero. We don't know.
Okay,
what?
So here's my contention. I have multiple contentions. I understand the broader point that you're making. Don't get me wrong. Like I do have complete clarity over like what you're saying. So basically, I think if anything, it is insanely highly variable on geolocation. Like, would we be able to see a difference in rates in the US where we have a much more normalized culture of revealing clothing? I think maybe yes. But versus a culture or society where women are already on average and as the norm dressed extremely conservatively and modestly, the standards have changed. The standards of what is and is not is revealing has drastically changed, and women will get sexually harassed over showing their wrists and ankles.
That proves my point.
And also in a society where dressing modestly is culturally mandated, it's also ironically a severely hypersexualized society, because you have been denying this innate human part of ourselves to such an extent in making the smallest things a sign of sexuality, that the smallest things like the look of an ankle or the color of a hand suddenly have massively exaggerated, magnified like sexual capacity. So or stimulus.
That kind of proves my point. Can I say? Well, okay. I understand that what is considered revealing is different from place to place. Okay. So for example, in Egypt, maybe showing your hair or, wearing short sleeves would be considered revealing, but but in Europe, unless you're completely topless, that would be revealing, but anything like that would not be revealing. Okay. So, but I'm saying based on whatever the standards are where you are, what people consider revealing, if you are being, wearing revealing clothes, people will see you more as a target. Abusers will consider you more as, for example, in a society where everybody is wearing full hijab, okay, a woman who's like a chador with a niqab, then my guesses would be somebody who's still wearing the hijab but doesn't have a niqab, is a bigger target. Even if she's like wearing complete hijab and a chador, but everybody has a niqab and she doesn't have the niqab. That woman without a niqab is probably a bigger target for abuse than everybody else. Even though, based on our standards, she's very, very, very conservative clothes. Like, if I had to guess who's a bigger target, it would be her, the one that is not wearing a niqab. Okay. Is that
but you're saying okay, like even if that's the case, like we shouldn't comply with that. Like we
shouldn't comply. Like why are we accepting the abuser's terms here? Okay, I'm just saying the defense of fighting modesty culture shouldn't be like, oh, modesty doesn't deter abusers, because it might. Because we might be spreading false information. Maybe modesty does deter abusers. Okay, we don't know if it does.
But I don't think it does, because men.
But even if it did, it doesn't matter. But even if it did deter abusers, because I think it might. Even if it did, then who gives a crap? These are the abusers. We shouldn't be like letting them set the terms, set the standard of how we live by. That's how we should be attacking modesty culture. Not spreading information that we don't know. We're telling, oh, it makes no difference. Like, this is kind of like, fighting racism, like some people, like if you say like, oh, everybody has the same capability. I'm saying like, what if they don't? What if it's different? They should still have equal rights. That shouldn't determine how we treat people. Like, yeah, maybe they do. Maybe everybody is completely equal in their scales, and ethnicity has no effect. And maybe it does, but probably doesn't. But even if it did, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't affect the way you treat different. I'm just saying or for example, the way we defend homosexuality. We're saying like, oh, it's not a choice. They're born this way. Like
I hate that rhetoric.
Yeah. Like, that's not a good defense. So what if it was a choice? Even if it was a choice, it's still okay. So I'm just saying, attacking, defending people being able to dress the way they want, I think it shouldn't be defended by saying modesty doesn't deter abusers, because it might. The problem is somewhere else. I just have an issue with the way we're defending people's right to choose. Or, for example, abortion, right? People defend women's right to choose because it's like, oh, my body, my choice. Like, that's not a good defense. That's not a good defense, because if that fetus was self-aware, then all of a sudden it has rights, and we should somehow be protecting it. The defense of right to choose is that it's a goddamn fetus. Who gives a crap about fetuses? Fetus lives don't matter.
Work from you as well. But that's a different discussion.
That's a different discussion. Anyways, okay.
I think, yeah.
Anyway,
that's good. They're helpful, but
well, fetus lives don't matter. We could have a different talk about that later. Anyways, but do you understand my point here now? Like, I'm still defending our attack on modesty culture. I just think we're not doing it the right way when we're saying that it has no effect on abuse. That's my point. Does anybody have a point on this in the live chat? Do they agree with me or disagree with me?
Like some mixed reactions.
Okay. Anyways, people are gonna get angry. Some people are gonna get. Oh, here's an angry comment. Oh, some people agreed, but this person is saying.
Okay, you read the live chat while I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Somebody saying, nothing to argue, you're wrong, man, just chill, something. No, there's another comment here. Like, I love it when people have no arguments and just like, oh, there's nothing to argue, you're just wrong. So basically, you have nothing to back up what you're saying. You're just making a claim, and people have just have to agree with it. And here's proof that you have no idea what you're talking about. You're saying, why don't you say what you know something instead of lying? You are incapable of understanding. You have very limited capacity of understanding what someone's argument is, because I was specifically saying that we don't know. That was the entire point. Like, you are making a claim that we don't know. We don't know if modesty reduces the chances of abuse, and you're saying, why don't you say what you know? Okay, no, you could sometimes I am saying that we don't have the information, so we shouldn't be making a claim. So you're doing, when you're saying that we know modesty doesn't deter abuse, you're making a claim that you don't know. I'm claiming ignorance. I'm claiming that lack of knowledge here.
Armin, that was actually that user's argument with a different user.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh yeah, here. I'm talking with something user. Someone else. Okay. I took it very personally. I thought it was all right,
Darko
never
saying,
mind.
this is why you tag people. Okay, so let's go to the next news. You're muted.
Can we clap for the next news?
We don't like this. But we're gonna clap.
All right. Next news.
U.S. Supreme Court decision compels the state of Maine to fund religious schools. On June 21st, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the two Christian families that filed a lawsuit and subsequent appeal against the exclusion of religious institutions in Maine's tuition assistance program. Maine is a rural state that is sparsely populated in several counties. Half of its school districts do not have public high schools, so they established a school choice program long ago. The program subsidized the average tuition cost for students admitted to a private school in districts with no public schools. Parents could use this program to send their children to a secular school or a religious school of their choice until 1981, when Maine banned quote-unquote sectarian schools from the program. Since 1981, Maine has prohibited families from using taxpayer funds from this school choice program to study at a private religious school. Or study at private religious schools. In the new ruling of Carson v. Machen, the Supreme Court said that the system that Maine had implemented was unconstitutional since, according to the court, the provision of the First Amendment guarantees the freedom of religion, something that the Maine system did not adhere to by paying tuition only for the students who did not go to religious schools. The liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor stated, quote, "Today, the court leads us to a place where separation of church and state becomes a constitutional violation."
I don't understand the argument for this. Why do they think this is okay? We have taxpayer money funding religious schools. How is this not a violation of church and state separation? Do you understand what the argument is?
Yes, I'm going to read a section from Religious News Service to explain the arguments, because it's put in a way that was very easy for me to understand. So I'd like to repeat it for the audience. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote for a conservative majority that the Maine program violates the Constitution's protections for religious freedoms. Quote, Maine's quote-unquote non-sectarian requirement for its otherwise generally available tuition assistance payments violates the free exercise clause of the First Amendment. Regardless of how the benefit and restriction are described, the program operates to identify and exclude otherwise eligible schools on the basis of religious exercise, Roberts wrote. The three liberal justices dissented. Quote, "This court continues to dismantle the wall of separation between church and state that the framers fought to build," Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote. Justice Stephen Breyer noted in a separate dissent that Maine, quote, "wishes to provide children within the state with a secular public education. This wish embodies in significant part the constitutional need to avoid spending public money to support what is essentially the teaching and practice of religion." But Roberts wrote that states are not obligated to subsidize private education. Once they do, however, they can't cut out religious schools, he wrote, echoing his opinion in a similar case from 2 years ago that happened in Montana. Quote, "Maine chose to allow some parents to direct state tuition payments to private schools, a decision that was not forced upon it," Roberts wrote, quoting Sotomayor's dissent. Did that help explain some of the arguments?
It makes no sense because, okay, so there's supposed to be the argument is that since they're funding private schools, they should also, and they're not required to fund private schools. Since they're doing that, they should also be able to fund religious schools. This still doesn't, I mean, it's kind of saying like, hey, you are. So, for example, if a government builds a building, spends money, taxpayer money to build a building that is not a religious building, you're saying, well, since you spend money on constructing a building that you didn't have to, you should also be able to use taxpayer money to build like temples now, like, or mosques and churches. Like, I mean, this line, I mean, wouldn't that like destroy any barrier between church and state? If you're saying like, since you're doing a non-religious version of it, you should also be able to do a religious version of it. Wouldn't that argument destroy any barrier between church and state? Because you could use that argument for anything, and you could all of a sudden fund everything religious related.
So this ruling, the broader impact of this ruling is more specific. So the other states that it will likely affect would be like the state of Vermont that has a similar program. So this is,
I understand that it's specific, but the line of reasoning that is being used here can be used to make the government do anything religious that it wants. If the standard is, since you're doing a non-religious version of it that you don't have to, therefore that opens the door to you being able to do a religious version of it. I'm just saying that this opens the door for floodgates to the government being involved in anything religion related. Do you know what I mean? I could use that anywhere, this line of reasoning. I understand that this is specific, but the line of reasoning, it just doesn't make any sense. To me, at least.
Yeah, I don't like know enough of the legal minutia to be able to say, yes, that is like a line of reasoning that can be applied elsewhere or not. But so there's some statements by an organization, which is fantastic to support, called Americans United for the Separation of Church and State. Really great secular organization. And so I want to read some of the statement that their CEO, Rachel Laver, I think that's how you say her name, put out. They said, quote, the court is forcing taxpayers to fund religious education. Here, the court has violated its founding principle by requiring Maine to tax citizens to fund religious schools. Far from honoring religious freedom, this decision tramples on the religious freedom of everyone. Worse, the court has opened the doors to government-enforced tithing, an invitation religious extremists will not ignore. So that kind of ties into what you're saying. The court's ultra-conservative bloc argued that refusing to tax citizens to fund religion is discrimination against religion. It's nothing less than gaslighting to cloak this assault on our Constitution in the language of non-discrimination. If the conservative justices were concerned with discrimination, they would not have issued this opinion because it forces taxpayers to fund two religious schools that discriminate against LGBT families, one barring their admission, and the other forcing them to undergo counseling and renounce their sexual orientation or gender identity or be expelled. One's school's stated educational objective is to, quote, refute the teachings of the Islamic religion and the truth of God's word. And now Muslim taxpayers will be forced to fund that school. This court appears to be concerned with discrimination only when conservative Christians make the claim, and often, as here, in cases in ways that further discrimination. Yeah, so I'll just leave it there with that segment. It's
just so bizarre. Like, religious freedom means that the government can use taxpayer money to fund religious schools. I mean, religious freedom is mostly the idea of government staying out of religious affairs, not getting in their way. Like, that means the government, like, if you want to practice your religion, as long as you're not violating any laws, if government doesn't get in your way, then your religious freedom is being recognized. It doesn't require the government to fund you for your religious freedom to be recognized. That makes no sense.
So here's kind of the idea behind it. So the state of Maine has an obligation to educate all children. This is just a fact of being in America. You are obligated by law to give a free education to children. So they have that obligation. However, they are so sparsely populated that they cannot set up school systems in some areas. So as to not violate their own obligations, they said, okay, you do not have access to any public education in your area. So what we'll do is we will basically give you it's not exactly vouchers, but we'll give you money to subsidize your education to make up for the fact that we cannot provide it to you for free. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is the background. So people who like this opinion are making the argument that the government has an obligation to give these families who do not have school districts available to them this money. And what they choose to do with that money should be their own free choice. They give an example like, if you get a social security check as part of your benefits or a stimulus check, and you decide to use that money, because that's taxpayer money. That stimulus check is taxpayer money. And if you decide to go spend that money and donate it to a church, that's not a violation of church-state separation, but you are technically using taxpayer funds to do so. And it's part of your free choice. The government has an obligation based on the program that they opted to set up to give you these funds. And
There's a
suddenly
difference.
they're saying, no, we're not going to allow you to exert your free choice into how you spend this money. We're saying you cannot do it on the basis of it being a religious school. So they're saying that is discrimination.
There's a difference. Okay, so for example, the money that the government gave you as like the COVID package or release, whatever to call it, that's for you to spend it on whatever you want. That's just money that is being released for whatever. Okay, this is money specifically being released for education to meet the government standards of education. You know what I mean? So there are certain children should be educated to a certain level. Okay, they need to know math, they need to know how to read and write. This money is supposed to be used on that. That's what this money is being used. If this money is used on anything else but then getting kids to that level education level, that's a violation of what the purpose of that money was. If the money that the government has set for education, okay, is all of a sudden used on telling kids about Jesus, that's a violation of the government, church and state separation. Okay, if you have a general release of cash in the system, right, to pump the economy, okay, that's the economy. It could be spent on anything, but money set for education needs to be spent on education, not on Jesus-y stuff. You know what we need?
What?
Satanic schools.
That's what other people were saying in live chat. Time for Satanic Temple University.
Yeah.
Dude, well, they actually made that one up now. I don't know.
We need satanic schools in that state. So, and they need to apply for government funding ASAP, just to show the point of secularism. If we keep doing this, at some point, like Satan, the Satanic Temple might become like a leading religion in the United States, because like we're opening the floodgates of money. Yeah, with laws and with legal favoritism and all these fundings to religions in the United States. Maybe if we had the crystal ball and looked 100 years from now, you would like the number one religion in the United States would be the Satanic Temple if we keep going this way. But anyways, this is dangerous because now we have a legal precedent for the taxpayer money to be spent on religious education. Okay, and since that is the law now, this could, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but this could be really.
It's under
the future.
The future circumstances, to be clear.
I know, but when there are other decisions are being made, they usually use decisions made in past cases as a reference. You know what I mean? So even if this is a specific situation, it will set a precedent for future decisions. Okay, so I'm just saying that if United States, which is the world superpower, and with all the money that he has access to, all of a sudden starts brainwashing of children, religious brainwashing of children. This is the future of the country. There are a few things that are as important as the type of education that children are getting. Like when it comes to where the direction of a country, what direction a country is heading, one of the main ways you can control it is what are children being exposed to. Okay, and so this should be very alarming, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, Erkin has some comments saying either have enough public secular schools or you have to fund any and all schools. As they don't have sufficient number of public secular schools, they'll end up having to fund any and all schools. If they had a sufficient public secular school system that can accommodate all students, then they could have ceased funding religious schools. That's basically the principle of it. You understood very well. So here's the thing. Maine, the state of Maine, or any other state that has any program that subsidizes private education to some extent, they can avoid this issue of if this church state violation, they can avoid this entirely if they beef up their public school system to be able to provide that to all students. But so basically, so this standard is saying as long as you are funding or allowing, the state is giving subsidies to private education in any way, shape, or form, the state cannot say what kind of school it goes to. And so this could be fixed by the state of Maine, improving school transportation so kids from farther away can go to public schools, or by doing programs for a combination of remote learning, or building the infrastructure of school districts. So they don't have to do this. They could fix this, but it would just take time. So in a way that's kind of like positive. This isn't like set in stone. There are ways to avoid funding public religious education. They just have to build up better systems, and then so they no longer have to fund private schools, and then they don't have to fund religious schools.
Okay, even if they did that, the fact that we have this in writing, like let's say, for example, they managed to fix all of this, okay, and they have so many schools that religious schools are not required, and there's not a single religious school in Maine that is funded by taxpayer money. You think like, oh, great, crisis averted. No, crisis not averted, because we have it in writing right now that this is okay. So the fact that we have this as a precedent is already major damage. That's what I'm telling you. Anyways, I have an Instagram post here. Do you want me to show that?
Oh, yeah. This was a post from Andrew Seidel that was fantastic. For those who don't know, Andrew Seidel is a constitutional lawyer that works with the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and very smart guy. So wait, can you start it over from the beginning though?
Yeah, there's no way for Instagram to let you do that. You have to just
wait. It just, can you refresh the page and then it'll restart?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do this and then hit refresh like that. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, nope.
Supreme Court is gaslighting America. It just decided a case out of Maine, Carson versus Macon, and it turned religious freedom on its head. It said that religious freedom requires taxpayers to fund religious indoctrination and education. Religious freedom has long meant that the government cannot tax you, take your money, and give it to religious schools and churches, no government enforced tithing, that kind of thing. And that's the principle that it's turned on its head. And it did so with gaslighting, truly. The court claimed to... It claimed that its decision was preventing discrimination against these religious schools, these Christian schools. But the Christian schools, the schools at issue in this case, are themselves discriminating against LGBTQ students, against non-Christian students. You go read the record, some really awful, horrible things that they were doing. So if discrimination was the issue, we wouldn't be trying to send money to these schools in the first place. It's really difficult to overstate how drastic a departure this is from how we have understood the First Amendment and religious freedom in America since the founding. This is a big deal, and you should all be worried. Gaslighting. The U.S. Supreme Court is gaslighting.
So that was the end of it. Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, okay. So I just want to point out how this man is a constitutional lawyer, and I didn't listen to it before I heard before my commentary, and apparently our commentary was as good as a constitutional lawyer. So
Oh my God.
I'm glad that I saved, a lot of money because I'm
Shut up.
not going to university and becoming educated like that, because apparently we're just so good that we don't need that. We're as good as an educated lawyer on these topics. So just want to congratulate.
Well, I will never, deign to compare myself to the knowledge of Andrew Seidel, because he's a very admirable man. But oh my God. Anyway.
I just want to point that.
So D is making an important point, saying Andrew predicted all of this. Yes, Andrew Seidel has been sounding the alarm on the issues with the Supreme Court for a long time. And so I will boost the message that he's always saying, because this also this was a huge decision this week. This ties into the issues with Roe v. Wade, which we will get into in greater depth at a later point. The only way to fix these issues of these rulings coming down from this ultra conservative Supreme Court, the only way to fix this is to expand the judiciary. It's the only way. So we need to get organized around politicians who will actually push to expand the judiciary, because otherwise we're going to be stuck with this. So like, in terms of, these big Supreme Court decisions that have been happening this week, like my dad asked me, he's like, oh, are you going to go to any protests? And I was like, honestly, no, I don't think it's useful. Like, it's good to have a good visual of the show of force, but it won't actually do anything. What will do something is expanding the judiciary. So go support organizations like Americans United for a Separation of Church and State, Freedom from Religion Foundation, American Atheists. All three of these organizations are really at the forefront of utilizing the law to protect secularism in the United States. And also, I'm going to do some work into looking into who is doing the work of organizing and promoting expanding the judiciary, because we actually need to push politicians to do this, instead of Biden being like, maybe think about it. Like, no, we need to step things up in a major, major way. Enough leftist infighting over getting canceled over the slightest little thing.
Wait. Actually, that's a very good point. That's a very, very good point. Okay. We need to find every single person, every single leftist, okay, who said Hillary, because we didn't have Bernie, Hillary is just as bad as Trump. It doesn't make any difference. And Bernie or all the Bernie or bust people, okay? Because this is on them. This is
Jimmy Dore.
This is on every single leftist that encourage people not to vote for Hillary, because we need to show the Democrats that if you don't pick our candidates, then you're not going to have our support, okay? The climate is suffering because of you. Trans people are suffering because of you. Gay people are suffering because of you. And now women are suffering because of you. And you call yourself a leftist that has made a world a much worse place, especially on the things that leftists are supposed to be caring about. LGBT issues, environmental issues, and women issues. You screwed them all by being a Bernie or buster, by not voting for Hillary. None of this would happen. Americans are going to pay for decades to come because of your Supreme Court. Every single woman suffering because of this, every single poor woman in America who's going to be suffering because of the judges that Trump picked, it's on you. It's on you who didn't vote for Hillary. And it's not just Americans. Because of the climate issues, the world is now going to be suffering, and it's on you because you didn't go and vote for Hillary. So good job. This is what being a leftist gets you. Yeah. And people are saying, what's so great about Hillary?
Nothing.
Much,
not the point.
Not much, except she wouldn't be picking these judges that is screwing over every single American woman.
Yeah, that we're going to be stuck with for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah. Well, good job. Some people actually voted for her.
I did.
All
I
right.
didn't like it, but I did it.
Yeah. Good. The fact that you didn't like it, but you did, means that you understand what you're not supposed to like every single candidate. You're supposed to understand what's at stake. Anyways, can we clap for the next news?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Next news.
Rising non-belief. Only 81% of Americans believe in God in historic low. According to a newly published Gallup study, belief in God in the USA dropped from 87% in 2017 to 81% in 2021. The 6% dip is the lowest point in Gallup's trend, marking a historic low. This study was first conducted in 1944. In the initial run of the study, in the initial run of the study, the lowest point was 94%, with the rest of the results consistently showing that 95% of Americans believe in God. In Gallup's 2022 survey, conservative Americans only had a 1% drop in their belief in God, while belief among liberals dropped 11 percentage points. The belief in the theory of evolution also saw an unprecedented increase in the last 5 years. According to John Miller, a lead researcher behind that study, one of the reasons Americans do not believe in the theory of evolution is religious fundamentalism. So I know Kahlo is saying 81% is still huge. In Australia, it's about 60%. Okay, so yes, 81% is obviously a massive majority, but it is still the largest, the lowest dip in belief in America we've ever seen. We're bringing the total number of non-believers or religiously unaffiliated to 30% almost, which is still very large. And it's really exciting in many ways.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about this, Armin?
Okay, so some people are like saying, some people might get confused. They're saying 30%. This shows 19%. Non-belief is different from religiously unaffiliated. You could believe in God, but still be religiously unaffiliated. Those are.
Did I say
things.
30? I meant 20. Whatever. Anyways.
Oh, okay. All right. So no, yeah, and people are in the live chat are saying, oh, so you actually did mean non-belief. So yeah, it's around getting closer to 20%. But for America, I mean, I know a lot of you in Australia or in Europe are used to higher numbers, but this is huge for America. Like, America is a religious country. Like, I don't know if you guys realize that. This is progress. So yeah, it's still crazy high, especially for a first world country, but it's moving in the right direction. That's the point. It's moving in the right direction. Unless we get the schools funded by taxpayers, as we discussed in the I don't know what effect that's going to have, because hopefully this trend will continue. Yes, actually, this is very important, because just because we have a trend, it doesn't mean that the trend is continue. So don't be too complacent, okay? They're like, oh my God, the number of unbelievers or religiously unaffiliated is increasing. It could go backwards. History, it doesn't work like this. Like, if you see a trend, it doesn't mean that, the saying is a trend is a trend until it's not. Okay, you could have a trend, and all of a sudden the trend could stop, and all of a sudden the trend could go backward. So don't be too complacent. This requires your activism. It's not just a function of time. People think that time is the only thing you need for progress. Everything gets better with time. That's not the case. You have had too much of a good time in the past 200 years, and you think that's the way everything is going to be. It's not just a function of time. It's a function of time and activism. So don't get too happy. We still need to work on this, okay? Like, you can
That's
see
an
like
excellent point, Armin. Because last time, if you look at the graphs, last time there was a dip, it actually did go up again. I mean, by 1 or 2 percentage points. But yeah, it did rise again. So yeah, I don't know. I was very excited by this. Here's the thing. Good. Now that we're growing in numbers, we need to actually get freaking politically active, so that the religious right doesn't rule over our way of life. I'm sick and tired of non-religious people being like, oh my gosh, well, that's what religious people do. Like, no, these are your rights, goddammit. Secular people are the most consistent in terms of fighting for not only the rights of themselves, but the rights of religious people as well.
Yeah, the atheists are too lazy and they don't get involved and they don't create communities. And this is something you have to realize, that the religious people, right? They know they are seeing this trend, okay, and they're not gonna just take it. They are gonna fight it, and they have a very good chance
we're
of winning.
seeing that already.
They are going. They're not just coming for LGBT stuff. They're not just coming for women rights stuff. They understand that they understand that they need to fight this trend, and they know the way is to come for children, right? They understand that taking control over the education of children is going to be the only way that they could undo this. They could reverse this trend, and given how seriously they're taking it and how not very seriously the secular people or the atheists or the religiously unaffiliated are taking it, they might be successful at reversing this trend. So you need to wake up. I hope like this whole pro-life people winning wakes people up about how these they shouldn't just accept these things as given. We are going backwards in many cases. Like demographic. Okay, so right now the demographic battle, we're winning the demographic battle. We're losing the political battle, even though we have more people on our side. Where the Christians and the Muslims and the Hindus are winning the political battle. But soon the winning of the political battle might turn into them being also the winners on the demographics, because when they control all the politics, they will control the schools. And when they control the schools, they will control the trend. And when they control the trend, they will control the demographics. So if you lose the politics, eventually you will also lose the demographic battle.
Atheists of America, unite!
Okay. Let's move on. We should do the next news. All right. Can we clap for the next news? No, we can't.
Well, we don't like it, but let's clap because we're helping promote a bigger issue.
Okay, next news.
Next news. Apostate prophet suspended from Twitter. So for those who don't know, and if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know, because you're living under a rock. But if you don't know, Apostate Prophet is the world's largest ex-Muslim YouTuber. And he was recently suspended on Twitter for the most ridiculous reason I've heard in a while. So Ridvan posted a little picture that was like a little picture of a little girl wearing a hijab holding a doll. And it says Nupur Sharma did nothing wrong. And this is in reference to the BJP spokesperson who had the quote unquote blasphemous statements against Prophet Muhammad, when really she was literally just quoting Islamic scripture and facts about what Islam teaches. And he had he posted this photo, and then with the comment hashtag Nupur Sharma did nothing wrong. It is Muhammad who married a child. Good point. So if you scroll through this post on his YouTube community tab, you will see that he got suspended. And then it says...
Yeah, it's not showing it. When you post images... When you post images on YouTube, you have to make them square, or else it's not going to show the entire thing. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, but he was suspended for alleged hate speech, advocating for violence against a community. Absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, that's nothing of the sort, and it's literally just reiterating that Muhammad is the one who married a child. That's what's wrong. Not saying that he did so. And Eric is bringing up a good point, saying he was suspended for stating a fact. Meanwhile, Asim al-Hakim, who's one of the world's most famous Islamic scholars, on Twitter, actually agreed that Muhammad married a 6-year-old Aisha. He was replying to people on Twitter who were asking me oh my God, is this true? Is this true? And he would reply, he's like, yes, it's true. And it's blasphemy, or it's shirk. I don't know if he said it's shirk, but he said it's basically heresy to suggest otherwise. So he was coming out in full force saying, yes, this is true. Muhammad did do this. One of the most well-known Islamic scholars. So it's absolutely ridiculous. The double standard is blinding.
I mean, I don't understand this. This obviously doesn't violate any of Twitter's community standards. It just doesn't. Like, is this the algorithm or is this a person just making these decisions? Like, how is this? And how come when it's like, hold on, let me go, because he posted the reason after. Where is it? Oh my God, he posts a lot. Because
keep scrolling.
Wow, he does post. Oh, here it is.
No,
Okay,
it's right
so,
there.
yes, here. Your account has been suspended and will not be restored because it has found to be violating Twitter's. Okay, so this is after the appeal. So this is like a human actually looked into this. Terms of service, specifically the Twitter rules against hateful conduct. How is this hateful conduct? A hate against who? Who specifically are they? This is a hateful conduct towards. But let's
Muslims,
read the.
I guess. I don't know.
But Muslims say this, like it's in their. They agree
I know.
with it.
I'm just guessing.
Okay, so it can't be Nupur Sharma because this is a defense of her. It can't be Aisha because this is a defense of Aisha. You're saying Aisha was abused. It can't be a hateful towards Muslims because Muslims agree that Muhammad, like this is not something Islam disagrees with. Like Islam says that Muhammad did this. Okay. So, but let me see. What is hateful? Okay. It is against our rules to promote violence against or directly attack or threaten other people on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual. Okay. It can't be any of these other than religious affiliation. Okay. So you're saying, Twitter is saying that Apostate Prophet promoted violence or directly attacked Muslims by this. So is stating facts about your religion directly attacking you on the basis of your religion? I don't understand. This makes no sense. Like I'm
So
trying
you say
to, like,
they hate him more than child marriage.
Yeah. Primary purpose of account to incite. Oh, so additionally, if we determine that the primary purpose of an account is to incite harm towards other on the basis of these categories, that account may be suspended without prior warning. Okay, so
Ridiculous.
Islam is against Islam, apparently. I don't understand. Stating things that are true about Islam is anti-Muslim. I mean, I kind of agree, actually. Wait a minute. I agree with Twitter. Islam is anti-Muslim. Islam is anti-Muslim. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, Islam harms Muslims. However,
I agree actually as well.
However, if that is your standard, then you should ban every single Islamic Twitter account. You know, like as you know, based. I don't understand. Wait, so okay, so here's a question. Okay, what about the tweets by Muslims on Twitter who are saying that this is what Muhammad did? Do they get banned? So
no.
So if you are an Islamic, if you are a Muslim and you have a Twitter account and you're saying, yes, Muhammad did this, and it's okay, you don't get banned. But if another account says, yes, Muhammad did this, and it's not okay, then you get banned.
You are understanding correctly.
So if we do some deduction here, okay, what Apostate Prophet did wrong is that he disagreed with abuse of children. So Twitter's community standard requires you to put a stamp of approval on child abuse, then you would not get banned. Because the statement of what Muhammad did is equal in both of them. Is the approval or condemnation of it that Twitter has an issue. So you better agree with Muhammad's child abuse for your Twitter account to stay intact. That's the conclusion that we could get from this. All right. Sorry, I went on a rant.
Absolutely insane. So
yeah.
One thing we can do to help out, okay?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that.
Well, unfortunately, Armin is banned on Twitter. I am banned on Twitter. And Atheist Republic is banned on Twitter. So I can't do this, and I can't show you guys a cute little tweet. But what you can do to help is, oh, that's true. You can tweet at Twitter support And make sure to use the hashtag restore apostate prophet. I want us to have a Twitter storm of tagging at Twitter support, hashtag restore apostate prophet, explain very nicely why this is absolutely ridiculous, how this does not violate Twitter's policies, how this does not incite hate against a community that agrees that this is a fact within their understanding of their religion. So if you have a Twitter, please make sure to use the hashtag restore apostate prophet, and be nice when you tweet at Twitter support. It's important that you are not painting a bad picture of our prophet, okay? When talking to the Twitter, please be nice to the Twitter. We're trying to get a favor. We would like him back.
Wait a second, you're right. He is a prophet. This is the banning of insulting our prophet is a violation of TOS. How come when Muslim prophet is attacked, that's against terms of service, but when our prophet, when the apostate prophet, this is blasphemy against the atheist. You are by attacking our prophet, you are promoting violence or directly attacking us ex-Muslims, and we are extremely offended. Bring back.
Is this not promoting harm?
Yeah, this is prophet versus prophet. How come we can't attack their prophet and they can attack our prophet? We should have the hashtag bring back our prophet. Is that not a better hashtag? Bring back hashtag bring back our prophet. Yes.
Hashtag restore apostate prophet. Hashtag bring back our prophet. I like it. That's cute.
We should frame this as an attack on our beliefs. You know, they are attacking our prophet. I think maybe they will take it seriously if we frame it in an Islamic way. Anyways, just an idea. Okay.
I actually like that.
I don't know. It could work.
Yeah, guys. Please go tweet on behalf of apostate prophet. I would really like to see him back on Twitter.
Okay, so the two hashtags are, one, reinstate apostate prophet, right?
Restore apostate
restore.
Prophet.
Sorry. Hashtag.
Those both work.
No, let's focus on one so we get actually some. Okay. Hashtag restore apostate prophet. Hashtag bring back our prophet. There we go.
Tag at Twitter support.
Tag at Twitter support. Yes. All right. Next, can we clap for the next news? What is that?
Well, we don't like it, but we're gonna clap because it's the last news is Atheist Republic news.
Wait, I need to actually switch my account so I could show you the quality. Switching profiles. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
There we go. All right.
I hate how they changed the setup on the back end.
Yeah. All right. Next news.
Help Atheist Republic save our Facebook page. So, guys, we are in a scary position here at Atheist Republic. Atheist Republic, for those who do not know, has the world's largest Facebook page and atheist Facebook page. And we are in a bit of a tough position because we have an insane amount of strikes on our page, which means that we are at risk of getting our whole page deleted. And this is incredibly scary and risky for us because all of these things that you see here on our page are things that do not violate Facebook's own community standards policies. I have spoken to Facebook employees and I've shown them what we have gotten strikes for, and they agree with me that these posts that we've gotten penalized for do not actually violate their own policies. Not only that, not only are we getting wrongful strikes, completely wrongful strikes, but they stay active as violations or penalties on our page for way longer than they're supposed to. So you'll see here that we have one that's like 11 months long. We have a few that are 2 months long. And usually they disappear off of your page way faster than this. We've been doing research into this issue for some time, and we have yet to see an example of violations staying on the page as long as ours have. So this is a major concern for us because not only are we at risk of losing our whole page, which is something we've spent a decade building. It's one of our major ways of reaching people around the world and building our community, telling people about our community and helping bring our community to them. But I just lost my train of thought. Oh, it's also very difficult because these penalties mean that our page does not get boosted in the algorithm. So less people see it. When we do post, it's put way lower on your page. And so it really, even though we still have it, we're still crippled in our ability to get our message out there and share the community of Atheist Republic. So something I have been working on for a long time is trying to get this addressed, and I've tried it numerous different ways. And unfortunately, many times it just seems like things just go into the black hole at Facebook. So given that, we are appealing to our community to hopefully find a connection at Facebook who can help us out with this problem. Wait, let me put my email in the live chat. So if you work at Facebook, if you know anyone, or not Facebook, or Meta in general, the parent company too, that'd be fantastic. If you know anyone that works at Facebook or Meta, or maybe you yourself do, maybe you have it as a second or third connection in your network, please email me, Atheist Republic's executive director, CEO, president, whatever you want to call it. Please email me at Susanna@atheistrepublic.com. My name is spelled SUSANNA at atheistrepublic.com. If you have a connection into Facebook, you can help us save our Facebook page, which is very important to our organization. Yeah, I really hope we can get this fixed because it's touch and go at this point, honestly. We're on a hair's edge, and it is very anxiety inducing. You're muted.
Yeah. So, by the way, so just to mention this again, we have Facebook employees looking at this and agreeing that these posts doesn't violate any of the community standards. Yet the same Facebook employees can't do anything about it. We have confirmation from inside Facebook that this doesn't violate anything, and their hands are tied. What kind of system is this? Also, there's some grudge against us because, again, these are posts from 10 months ago, and they still haven't gone away. 10 months ago, I've read so many articles online about this, and they usually last about like 3 months, and then eventually they go away. Ours is just sticks around. So if they keep piling up, we might lose a page. Like, yeah, page at risk. Here, look at this. It says restriction. Your page is restricted because it didn't follow community standards. We know we're not always right. If you think we got it wrong, you can disagree with our decision, and in some cases, get the restriction removed. We have disagreed with every single one of them. After disagreeing, they said, like, we don't have enough people to check this, okay? And we have had people to check this, and then they didn't go away. They stayed. And it says, your page is at risk as being unpublished and has reduced distribution and other restrictions due to continued community standards violations. Again, none of these posts, like, I wish I had some examples. I have an example. Can I show it?
We shouldn't even show it, though, because we're streaming on Facebook right now. We could get dinged again.
Okay.
I can tell you what they were. I remember.
Tell them what they were, because it's ridiculous.
Okay, so one of them that I remember was it was a stock image photo of an old lady opening up an oven, and she has a happy look on her face, like she's smelling something wonderful, and the caption is something along the lines of like, I love the smell of babies. Like, because it's a joke about how people say that atheists eat babies, so it's a joke at our own expense. And we got dinged because they said that it either promoted violence against children or that it promoted discrimination against atheists, which I thought was hilarious because I'm like, oh, so now you actually recognize discrimination against atheists for once, because usually you guys don't care about that at all. But this time it's actually a joke we're making about ourselves. Like we're doing a satirical spin on a stereotype about us. Like, come on, man. Another one of them was we got dinged for a post that was it was a poster that someone was holding up. And it was basically satirizing it was a sarcastic take on different biblical tenets. So, but one of them says like don't like gays, like snakes can walk, something. But then because it says like doesn't like gays on the sign, they think that we're promoting homophobia, but we're not. The sign is actually sarcastically pointing out the Bible's homophobia.
So basically what Facebook is telling us is that we can't make fun of homophobia, because by trying to make fun of homophobia, we have to show homophobia, and then we're showing homophobia, the post becomes homophobic. So we can't fight homophobia. Because we can't show it. It's insane.
So that's actually what 2 of these strikes were. Another one was like a meme format, but basically the reason why we got dinged was because it was saying that we were being homophobic, but it was actually highlighting the problem of biblical homophobia. It was highlighting the problem of it and like condemning it as bad, but because it like mentioned it sarcastically. It's so frustrating. So like I said, I am appealing to our community. It has helped me before, and I'm hoping that it will help us again. That we can find someone who can help us out with this issue, because this is in a stressful place right now. So if you know anyone, please email Susanna@atheistrepublic.com, and that you could literally save Atheist Republic's Facebook page.
Yeah. Anyways, we should head out.
You have a little baby. What a little cotton ball. She's so freaking cute. What a little princess. Oh, wait, really quickly. Bjorn is saying nothing about the shootings in Oslo. We're actually going to talk about that last week because we do everything on a weekly basis. And what happens the night before, we don't have enough time to prepare a whole news story for it. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about this. It's very important. So on that note, can Poochie say happy Pride?
No, she's a dog. She can't talk.
I know okay. Well, well, Poochie can't say happy Pride. I will say happy Pride to everyone. Happy Pride weekend. Stay safe, you guys. Celebrate life, freedom, be yourself.
Hit the like button over there and the subscribe button right over there. And the bell, the devil's bell. Make sure you hit that. And yes, and happy Pride.
Yay! There we go. It's
a rainbow. Okay.
That's the cutest thing I've seen in a while. If you like what we do here at Atheist Republic, please hit the like button, subscribe. If you're like, man, these guys do valuable content, but why aren't more people paying attention to them? Share this with your friends who like, atheist content. Share with your friends who maybe aren't even atheists, but they're into geopolitical stuff. They're into religious news. And you can also do a huge difference in supporting the show if you support us on Patreon, link in the description below, or you can also support us via PayPal. So consider supporting what we do, because it's not just me and Armin. There's a whole team behind us that helps make all of this happen. So I had fun today. I hope everyone did too.
Yes. Very good. Bye. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button and all of that. Okay. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye.
Oh, no. Bye. I was going to say we don't love you because we're trying to be honest.
We're still live.